But our Commander-in-Chief's highest priority is the safety and security of the American people. And while the last administration too often failed to meet the growing security threats in space, President Trump has stated forcefully a truth that the leaders of the National Defense University have long understood, that space is a warfighting domain just like the land, air, and sea, and America will be as dominant there as we are here on Earth. But today, space is fundamentally different than it was a generation ago. What was once desolate and uncontested is increasingly crowded and confrontational. And today, other nations are seeking to disrupt our space-based systems and undermine our economic and military might as never before. For many years, nations from Russia and China to North Korea and Iran have pursued weapons to jam, blind, and disable our navigation and communication satellites through electronic attacks from the ground. But recently, our adversaries have been working to bring new weapons of war into space itself, from anti-satellite weapons and airborne lasers to highly threatening on-orbit activities and evasive hypersonic missiles. Both China and Russia have been aggressively developing and deploying technologies that have transformed space into a warfighting domain. Since taking office, our administration has taken decisive action to strengthen American power and secure our vital national interests in space. President Trump signed the largest investment in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. Through the new Launch Service Agreement awards, we're also strengthening our partnerships with private industry to grow our domestic launch systems and accelerate the delivery of new space and counter-space capabilities. And under the President's new national space strategy, our administration is uniting America's military, commercial, and civil space sectors as never before to ensure that the United States retains our rightful role as the world's preeminent spacefaring nation. But as President Trump has said, quote, "It's not enough to merely have an American presence in space, we must have American dominance in space." And that's exactly why, at President Trump's direction, we are taking steps to establish the United States Space Force as the sixth branch of our military that is separate from and equal to the 5 other branches. Our administration will work with leaders in Congress to create the United States Space Force as the sixth branch of our armed forces in the next National Defense Authorization Act. Under our constitutional system, only Congress can formally establish a new department of the military. Our administration, I'm pleased to report, is already working closely with leaders in the Congress in both parties on both sides of the Capitol building to chart a legislative and budgetary pathway to create a new department that will organize, train, and equip space forces, including both combat and service support functions for offensive and defensive operations. Very soon, with the support of the Congress, the Department of the United States Space Force will be a reality.